So here we'll be discussing the answer to the question, where can I find private money lenders? So let me just tell you this. If you have a rich uncle, or if you have a friend you went to high school with and maybe they invested in Apple in 2009 or Bitcoin in early 2010, that is where to start. That is where you can find a potential private money lender for your real estate investment business. That being said, for the rest of us, grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and take note of this. A private money lender can be anyone you have a pre-existing relationship with. So start networking and building relationships. And of course, the next logical question becomes where? And that's what we're going to address. So there are a few more obvious places that you can find potential private money lenders that we'll cover, but I've broken down where to find these lenders into two main categories, and that is within real estate investing and outside of real estate investing. And both of these are online and offline. So you can, whether it's inside of real estate investing, you can identify these people and connect with them, online or offline. And we'll talk about that. And those who are outside of the real estate industry, to connect with them online and offline. So first, to find and get to know private money lenders within the real estate industry, those who will be happy to lend on your deals, consider simply asking other professionals that you already have in your sphere of influence, or that you're already working with or should be working with in this industry. Now, other real estate investors in your network or on your buyer's list are a good place to start, namely your buyer's list or real estate agents, or your go-to real estate agent that you're already working with. So you can even consider asking your title reps or a real estate attorney that you've worked with, because all of these professionals, they may be interested in the opportunity to lend, but even if they're not, it's important to know that private money lenders commonly come through referrals within your existing network. Now, the quick offline-online breakdown for those already within the real estate investment businesses, RIAs. So that's really one of the more obvious ones. It stands for Real Estate Investor Associations. And you can find where these meetups are, or the Real Estate Investor Associations, on meetup.com. So this would be online. Obviously, you could also Google, right? So find where they physically meet up, and then just jump in, network, and get involved. And additionally, another place to look, again, this is either online or offline, is that many active investors host meetup groups and even parties, actually. And whether it's at an active listing or a project that's under construction because they're flipping a property, or whether it's at like a bar, a public venue, you can get on their top investors mailing list, right? Anyone who's a top investor in your area, stay plugged in. Now, a practical example of that is we invest in a lot of markets across the country, but in San Diego, we have a go-to buyer, and he's always sending out communications. He's a great guy. He's regularly sending dates and times of locations and meetups that he's putting together, and they're really big parties, and he hosts them. So that's why I said it's pretty cool. But those meetups are invaluable, not for the free booze, okay? All right? But for the connections that you make. And it's not just private money lenders, but it certainly can be private money lenders too. So my recommendation for you is to follow suit. Tap into the professionals you're already working with. Find out who the top players in your area are, whether it's online or whether it's offline. You can bust down the doors of a local brokerage and make that happen, okay? Another place is local and national real estate related Facebook groups. Obviously, this is online, right? Start joining Facebook groups. And what's important when you do that is not just to join them. You want to read what other people are posting. Contribute to the conversations, engage. That is to say that just as much as I'd encourage you to drop any questions you have for me in the comments section below, ask questions on people's posts inside of these Facebook groups. And like and comment and reply to them just as much as you should also hit that like button if you're finding this content valuable. Because when you're engaging and you're interacting with professionals in this real estate industry, and when you make yourself a part of these groups, you begin to build relationships. And obviously that's super important because you already know this. Real estate is more of a people business than it even is a property business. So becoming part of a community, several communities, will expedite your business growth and scale, and certainly get you on track faster to finding private money lenders. And participate, obviously, I'm suggesting you participate within our YouTube channel, right, on our videos and engage with us, but also in whether it's Facebook groups, whether it's online or offline, when you're at meetups. And the reason you should participate is because if you're an introvert like me, it's always really good to remember that education without action is just entertainment. We're not ready to move on yet because there is one more place that I find it's really helpful to build relationships with potential private money lenders inside the real estate space, and that's on LinkedIn. Now, there are ways to automate outreach. There are ways to make this process very simple, and if I've already put this video together by the time you're watching this one, it will be linked in the description below. But the general overview is this. LinkedIn offers a tool called Sales Navigator. It's a paid service. So you want to use that to find real estate related professionals in any area or every area of the country who are actively using LinkedIn and in the industry. Of course, you're not just going to come right out of the gate and say, hey, I've got deals. Are you interested in lending on them? Simply connect with them. I like to go to their profile to see, what it is that they're interested in even beyond real estate. To also understand where they are geographically and to know how long they've been in the business and see what other specialties they have. And I just ask them about themselves. So I'd recommend you do that. Ask them questions about themselves, ask about their business. That's how you build a relationship. Not that you didn't already know that, but here's some practical applications as an example to finding private money lenders as it pertains to investors within the real estate industry, whether they're on your buyer's list or simply in your network, or whether this is a conversation you have online or in person on the phone, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to paint a picture of a scenario for you. Consider this. Perhaps you've been in the real estate investing industry for under a year, but you learned quickly. You built your team. You've got a go-to buyer for your wholesale transactions that they're flipping, and they're way more seasoned. So really, they're also ready to slow down actively renovating properties because they're like, man, I'm done with this. I'm ready to retire. Imagine this investor has plenty of rental properties. They're in a really good position. They have a lot of money. Picture also that because you've been wholesaling to them and put a lot of deals their way, you guys have a really good personal and professional relationship. Let me ask you a question. Why not present the opportunity to be a private money lender? Because this is going to be something they're very familiar with. And this scenario happens a lot. This is not something I'm just making up. Understand, though, that no matter what, no matter how it goes, you're either going to win, because that'll be a big win, or you're going to learn. But either way, you can ask them for a referral. Even if they say yes, be like, great, you know anybody else? We're buying deals now, man. Now, we have to talk about outside of the real estate industry, right? So that's the second part. Now, this is anyone who is not currently an investor or a realtor, but they might be looking for an opportunity to put their money to work for them. You can, of course, discuss this with some of your friends. Remember, you have a rich uncle. Someone does. You can talk about it with your family members, your colleagues, and even if they themselves aren't quite ready, it's still possible that you could gain connections outside of your own existing network, right? They might have a friend. They know a guy who knows a guy. Remember, when it comes to referrals and private money lending in general, heck, regarding real estate as a whole, it's all about building relationships. So you can be vocal about what you're doing, and as you do that, and you're talking about the opportunities that you have, you're more likely to find the people that you're looking for, the connections that you're trying to make. So with that said, right, the offline and the online breakdown here for finding potential private money lenders that are not within the real estate industry, this is what I would suggest for you. So we obviously mentioned this, but as it pertains to friends and family and colleagues, connecting with them both in person and on social media sites. Another way that I like to share where I find private money lenders is with a little exercise, okay? So this is probably going to be offline, but I guess it could be online too. I got an activity for you. Spin around 360. Just do this. It's going to be fun. Okay, just spin around 360 degrees with me right now. Give it a try. And there is a very cogent point to this, okay? And that is, consider everyone within a 20-mile radius of every direction that you just faced. You can, of course, find people like this online, right? And that's also to say that you take a trip to the grocery store. or when you're gonna go get your hair cut, or when you're picking your kids up from school, parent-teacher conference. Consider that even when you're going to your child's track meet, a soccer game, a football game, a school play, a wrestling tournament, absolutely any engagement where there are actually going to be people with a pulse. You have an opportunity to get to know them and build a relationship and gauge whether or not they're even like a person you want to see the opportunity with. So that is how you can do it. And again, 20-mile radius, just take a walk down the block, go to the store. Those people are going to be potential private money lenders. Check up at your doctors. Right, you may discover that your doctor's not happy with the returns that they're getting from the dizzy spinny cup ride that's off in the stock market. Or, they're really sick of the joke of all investments, CDs offered by the banks. Don't get me started on that. The truth is, and you already know this, you're never going to know their situation. Whether it's your doctor, or whether it's somebody else that you meet at a track and field event with your child or a soccer game or whatever. You're never going to know their situation unless you ask. Now, I'm sure I'll be eating crow from somebody in the comments that says, well, that's not true. My doctor he just brought it up and he said, hey man, I have money and I heard you're in real estate and I want to give it to you. How does that work? Yes, that happens. But if you're watching this video and that hasn't happened to you and you feel like it's probably not likely to happen, remember the answer to this question, especially if it makes you feel uncomfortable going out to the grocery store and bringing this type of stuff up, like me, because I'm an introvert. This is the question. In your real estate investment business, who is the one person that's most concerned about its success and ensuring its success? Don't tell me it's not you, okay? Because if it's not you, I would struggle to understand why you're hanging out with me here in this video. Now, I'm grateful for it either way, don't get me wrong, but I'd still be a little bit confused, okay? What I'm not confused about is that if you're still with me on this video, you'll know by now that you can find potential private money lenders literally anywhere. And I'll summarize it in this way. Every single direction in which you turn, within a 20-mile radius, there's a potential private money lender out there that you can connect with. Now, if you live in the middle of nowhere, make that 100 miles. But the idea here is to open up your mind to the potential that nearly everyone that you see that has a pulse can be a private money lender, potentially. Oh, and even you. Because if you do invest your own money, or even if you're using unsecured debt, you're leveraging from 0% interest credit cards, utilizing balance transfers with lower fees, and doing a lot of creative stuff, super important that you still pay yourself interest, as you would then be a private money lender in your real estate investment business. And by the way, as a little tip, this is not really part of this video, but...
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission.
That is also something I discuss in the private money lender meeting, right? Where I talk about how I invest my own money in my own deals and I pay myself an interest, a certain interest, and nothing more than that. So it really helps with handling objections and questions where they might say, well, can you pay me more than that? That's just a little bonus tip there. If being the lender is not you, at least not right now, you can just join the non-industry specific groups on LinkedIn as well. By the way, on LinkedIn, you'll have the associations that you can just add yourself to, and then it opens up your ability to connect with those people who are part of that group. So that is non-industry, non-real estate industry investment groups, people who are into stocks, right? Things like that, Forex trading, whatever it is. There's groups like that on LinkedIn. And in the same way, you can find people on LinkedIn who are in the real estate investment business. You might think, well, what business do I have adding a doctor on LinkedIn as a friend? And then pitching this to them. You're a real estate investor, you're interested in investments. They're not a real estate investor, but they're still interested in investments. So join those groups on LinkedIn in the same way, introduce yourself and ask anything, ask questions. Hey, what's up with your investments? Are you happy with the returns you're getting? Like, tell me about like what you do to invest. If it's Forex, I don't know anything about Forex trading, by the way. So, I mean, I've dabbled in learning it, but I don't know much about it. But my point is, spark up the conversation. Because as you know, lending on real estate isn't the only way people are putting their money to work for them. And also, there's plenty of people out there who are happy with other ways to invest. So that being said, at the same time, it's a great investment to do alongside something else. And some people who are ready and willing to lend you money on your deals are literally, especially in this capacity when I'm talking about online, they're right at your fingertips. Okay? So as it relates to what is essentially networking on LinkedIn, as I mentioned earlier, if our video about that is ready by the time you're watching this one, it will be linked in the description below. And yes, I was really excited to use that pun again. But now there's no more time for cheap jokes because there's more to cover. In this series so far, we have talked about what private money lending is. We've discussed who is a private money lender or who can be a private money lender. And in this video, we shared where you can find potential private money lenders. Next, we're going to be talking about how to actually pitch private money opportunities. That is to say, you can click this video right here to learn all about the answer to the question, how do I discuss and present private money lending? And I'll see you in the next video.